Akwara mu wa no come sirike eluwe ni fun won ko ma ordinary ma ordinary to ordinary ma obede ya onye fu na oba ijeli onye fu na oba ijeli inu na ye ni oba onye fu ko oba ijeli onye fu ko oba ijeli ye ni oba ọkọ̀ abala ọba àgbàlì ẹ̀fún ọba àgbàlì ọkọ̀ wọn nẹ iye ìjọba ọwọ́ akara chinu wẹ̀rẹ̀ ọwọ́ akara chinu wẹ̀rẹ̀ kò tẹ́ wà iye ìjọba akara kadi. Ìjẹ̀lìjà akara kadi ìjẹ̀lìjà. Akaraka di ìjẹ̀lìjà akaraka di ìjẹ̀lìjà Jehovah ye yaba awu ye yaba ọsọ na bọla mpara obi bịa na akọ ya abọ yoli merume onye tu onye bụ adịghị ahụ ya onye tu onye bụ ọdị aka na akọ ya otu nwanyị si abịa ebere wetara obere ibi akpa ekele mara wa ọ ga-afụ amaka ha gbora ka ga-awa ibi ya kpọrọ mmadụ ọ ga-aka mma ike ebi onye ibi echi ụka Elias Aikomo Elejo Oko Kawaje Aikomo Electoral System International Alaba Yaga Zero Ayoma,
Share this program. Share it, please. It's going to be a short one. Share. It's going to be a short one. Share. Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Biafrans, wherever you are. Share this program, like the page, as I am always bringing to you an exciting and interesting program. This afternoon, I have come to you once again with a beautiful and interesting program. As it is hot, that's why they bring up. I did not announce this program, the particular program today, for some reasons. Therefore, if you are watching from anywhere, just share, because it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be interactive. I'm going to speak to Biafra again. My name is Mazi Obaleze Chukwubikem. Yes, that is my name, Mazi Obaleze Chukwubikem. I welcome all of you to this program. Mazi Benjafi, he said, Ago Biafra Ndewo. God bless you. We must continue. Oh, hey, Biafra. Yes, my brother. We must continue. And Uzo Chukwu and the Borg say, oh, hey, Biafra, Wachineke. Oh, hey, Biafra to you, my brother. Oh, hey, Biafra to you. All my brothers and sisters that are watching me, please, wherever you're watching from, I would like you to acknowledge your presence and tell me where you're watching from so that I will hail you. I will greet you. Yes, the topic of the day is a very interesting one. What have you benefited from One Nigeria? It's a very, very simple question. And I would like you to call this program. If you want to contribute to this program, I want you to call this program. Yes, Endless Kenechukwu. You say, "Wa Chineke ndewo, ndewo nwanne m, ọ ga-adịrị gị na mma. Ọ ga-adịrị gị na mma. Ọ ga-adịrị gị na mma." If you are watching from any part of the world, if you salute me, please, I would like to salute you in return. You can all just, tell me where you're watching from. It's very, very important, so that I will greet you as well. We are indigenous people of Biafra, okay? Endless Kenechukwu say he's watching from Italy, from Italo. This afternoon, the question is going to every one of you out there. The question is going to every one of you out there. And the question is, what have you benefited from Nigeria? That is the topic I want to treat this afternoon. What have you benefited from One Nigeria? But before I go further, I have a sister, a lovely sister who is celebrating her birthday today. Her name is Chukune Chalum. Chukune Chalum. And she is celebrating today. She is from Olu province of Biafra land. Today is her birthday. And in my own tradition, I always like to appreciate those who have contributed one way or the other in this program. I always like to, appreciate them. Any day you are celebrating your birthday and you are one of us, and I have seen the impact you have created in the struggle, it is my duty to acknowledge your presence and to share your picture on my wall. Yes, I do this every day, every blessed day that I am broadcasting. If your birthday falls on that very day that I am broadcasting and speaking to the world, I will share your picture. The first person that I get notification, if you are watching Neke, if you are one of us, I will share your picture on my wall, use it as my profile. Then if I'm broadcasting that very day, I will call you to say happy birthday to you and to have you talk to Biafrans. So, and today I'm having a lady that I call the Melanin Queen, the she goddess herself. She likes our tradition a lot, and she is one of us in this struggle. She was there with me in Omaha all through until Operation Python Dance came. So in case some of you doesn't know her, sometimes I call her the reincarnated freedom fighters that have come back to life, people like us. These are the young ladies that doesn't take their time on Facebook to keep on, gallivanting here and there, posting only their beautiful picture. But they use that opportunity, posting Biafrans, articles and informations that you need to know. And because of that, I need to appreciate such people. And Chukune Chelum is one of the ladies that does that a lot on this program, on this movement. So because of that, I decided that I'm going to appreciate any Biafran, be you a guy, be you a lady who is celebrating any day I am doing my program live, and it falls into the day you are celebrating your birthday, I am going to bring you live to the program and have you speak to Biafrans, and they will also acknowledge your presence. So wherever you are watching from, the name of the program is Aside Hot. That's why they bring them. And I am Prince Darlington Mazi Obeleze Chukwubikem. I am bringing this program to you live and direct. And don't forget the topic that I want to treat today. I'm going to take calls. I'm not going to speak too much. I'm going to take calls. I'm going to speak less, but I will take much calls if possible. And the question I am asking today is, what have you benefited from One Nigeria? It's a question that all of us must look into. Because the reason why I'm asking this question is because most of our people, when you're telling them about our freedom, they keep telling you about Nigeria. If you're telling them about our freedom, they keep telling you about Nigeria. So I designed this topic, I brought this topic out today to discuss about what you that is watching this program is benefiting from that One Nigeria that many people are clamoring for. If One Nigeria is supposed to be a gift, what gift have you received from being One Nigeria? Wherever you are watching from, wherever you are domiciled, wherever you are living, because I know that most of our people are living abroad. Has One Nigeria mantra, which everybody is shouting One Nigeria, has it, giving you what you wanted? Have you benefited anything good from being a Nigerian? Have you ever, been treated equally as the person that is from that same country they call Nigeria? All these questions is going out to all of you that are watching this program now. Kindly share this program. My name is Mazi Obeleze Chukwubikem. The question is very, very simple, and the program is going to be very, very interactive because I want to speak to all of you out there. They are calling us One Nigeria, One Nigeria. I want to know those who are benefiting from the so-called One Nigeria. If you are benefiting from One Nigeria, if you are enjoying One Nigeria, please call me and tell me what you have benefited so far. If you have not, call this program and tell the world what and why you have not been benefiting anything from One Nigeria. So it is only one topic that I want to treat today. But as you know, this one topic may take all of us to a different dimension. It may take us to branches of issues that is disturbing us as a people. We are indigenous people of Biafra, and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is our leader. Therefore, before I continue, I am trying to bring our sister Chukune Chelum to this program. I am trying to connect to bring her so that she will speak to Biafrans worldwide. That is what I am trying to do, because every time a Biafran is celebrating his or her birthday, I do call them to say happy birthday to them. That's the little way I can contribute to say thank you for all you have been doing. For your information, some of you doesn't know that when you are sharing an article posted on Radio Biafra or on anything about Biafra issue, you are supporting the struggle. You are helping the struggle to get to the right path, which we are all, working for. And some of you doesn't know the time you use in chatting and playing. You can take out a little time at least to talk about your nation, because as you can see, we are. For me, I must be glad. I must be frank with you. I must be frank with you. I'm not glad to be called in Nigeria. I'm not happy when anybody called me in Nigeria. As a matter of fact, I've been deceived into acknowledging to be answered in Nigeria for all my life until Mazi Nnamdi Kanu came and opened my eyes. So, and since then, I came to understand that I'm not a Nigerian, and I have a lot of evidences to prove this. So if you are watching this program from any part of the world and you want me to acknowledge your presence, please show it. Tell me where you're watching from. Nature, if you are watching this program, please call me through the right channel so that I will bring you in. All of you that are watching from different parts of the world, the program is known as the Hot, and so are the bringer. And once again, my name is Mazi Obeleze Chukwubi Ikem. The question is, what have you benefited from One Nigeria? That is the question for the day. What have you benefited from One Nigeria? If you know you have benefited anything from One Nigeria, my brother, my sister, call in, because myself, I'm going to tell you that I have never benefited anything good from One Nigeria. The only thing I inherited from One Nigeria is intimidation, is starvation, is killing of our people, is environmental degradation, is air pollution in our land. And when you use Nigeria passport to travel abroad, the worst will happen. And the worst that will happen is that the people, the country where you want to enter as a Nigerian, upon citing that passport that you're having on your hand, number one, you are a suspect, because they knew that all your governors, all your ministers, all your House of Representatives, all your presidents, both past and present presidents, are all thieves. Yes, they knew that your presidents, your government, they are all thieves. And that is why Buhari, when he went to United Kingdom, was asked by the former British Prime Minister, David Cameron. I can never forget that. When David Cameron asked him, is it true that Nigeria is corrupt? Is fantastically corrupt? And Buhari said, yes, for sure, Nigeria is fantastically corrupt. Yes, that was the response of the Buhari, the late Buhari that we know, that Nigeria is fantastically corrupt. And because of this, whenever any Nigerian is traveling abroad, once your passport is cited upon, and they see that you're in Nigeria, they're going to keep you by the side. You will see Ghanaian person coming with Ghana passport, they will stamp them in instantly. Welcome to America. When you're coming in from Cotonou, Benin Republic, they see your passport, they stamp you in. Welcome to America, or welcome to London, or to wherever it is. But once you bring out your Nigeria passport, you will be checkmate. They're going to check you because of the bad government that you people have in their one Nigeria. So because of this, a lot of people are suffering abroad. I did not benefit anything. I have not benefited anything from One Nigeria. It is because of One Nigeria that our people are being killed in so many countries, especially in Malaysia, in Indonesia, in all Asia countries. And the ambassador of Nigeria to those countries, we are not doing anything to help the situation. Yes, they are not doing anything to help the situation. They are not doing anything to help the situation. I repeat, they are not doing anything. And that is why the people that they call Nigerians went to, I think, Indonesia, in Jakarta, and they brought the Nigeria flag down there. They wanted to even burn the embassy, because each time they have problem in those countries, they are not recognized and represented. And the Nigerian embassy abroad, all over the world, represent any ambassador in those embassies represents the head of the state of that country. So that means if you have issue with that country, that person is the first person. That person representing the country is the first person to be contacted. If the people who are living in that country have issue, they should take it to their embassy. So the counselor there will be able to handle the case. But in the case of the people they call One Nigeria, it is not happening. Welcome to the program, Anele Joseph Onowa. You say, my boss, good afternoon. Good afternoon back to you, bro. So I want to know those who are benefiting from One Nigeria to call this program to tell me what they are benefiting as One Nigerians. It is very, very important that if you are a Nigerian and you believe that you are from Nigeria and you are benefiting something from Nigeria, you are going to call this program to tell me what you're benefiting. If you are not, you're going to call to tell me what your own experience as a Nigerian, because I have my own story to tell. In most of my program, I normally tell my own story so that it will not be as if I'm talking about other people's case. I'm not talking about my own. Now, let me share my little experience with you. In United Arab Emirates, there was a time I was traveling through Qatar International Airport. I was traveling through Qatar International Airport, and many things happened. A flight that carried about 100 and subtraction people that are called Nigerians. Once it landed in the country, and it carries other African nationalities in it. So once you approach the immigration checking point, they will stamp. When they look at your passport, they look at it, they see Ghanaian, welcome, Benin Republic, welcome, Cameroon, welcome. This is what was happening in my own presence. I saw it. I am not saying that somebody told me. I am not saying that I watched it online. No, it happened to me here in Qatar, Doha. So once a person that has Nigeria international passport comes closer, once they look at it, Nigeria, they will say, this side, you will queue up. Nigeria, this side, you will queue up. Ghana, welcome. Burkina Faso, welcome. Mali, welcome. You know, Chad, welcome. All African countries, we have been welcomed into the country. Then Nigeria, one side. I am not saying this because of my hatred for Nigeria. I'm saying this because of what I witnessed in the foreign country, what has happened to me in the past, because I was carrying that passport that doesn't want a tissue paper. Nigeria passport doesn't want a tissue paper. We are all using it because we don't have any option. Because I know that if we have our nation today, nobody is going to use Nigeria passport for anything. And don't forget that Nigeria passport is being forced upon us. And as we are fighting to have our freedom, as we are fighting to restore our nation, we have no option than to use that tissue paper that is known as passport to travel until we get our own sovereignty and use our own international passport. So today I want you to share with me your experience, what has happened to you as a Nigeria passport carrier, and what you have benefited from Nigeria, you know, as from One Nigeria, as they call it. So while they were, you know, packing people by the side, Nigeria one side, Cameroon welcome, Nigeria one side, Ghana welcome, Nigeria one side, Benin Republic welcome, Nigeria one side, South Africa welcome, I became angry. I became so much angry. By then, I have not joined this struggle. By then, I have not, I was still asleep. I was still sleeping before Mazi Nnamdi Kanu came and woke the giant in me from slumber. So I was very angry. I say, why is this happening? What happened? Why every Nigeria, they send them by the side, but every other African countries, we are welcomed. What is happening? This is what I was thinking. And before then, I already knew that Dubai was like a safe landing for all your governors, all your ministers. All of them, they have houses in Dubai. They have properties in Dubai. Yes. In fact, I was opportune to have brought one man and his family to Dubai who bought property in Dubai. And in Dubai, you bring somebody, make visa for the person comes, you take them to the Damak property or first property or whatever. You have your own percentage. You understand? So people, use it as business. But me, on my own case, it was not business. Somebody just called me and said, you are going to do visa for somebody. And I did visa for the person. The person came and said, you know Damak property? I want you to take me there. I said, okay, yeah, I know. I did. So I'm not speaking to you based on what I hear from other people. I'm speaking to you based on what I have seen. And this is a prominent man. I don't need to mention his name on this program for security purposes. So the man came and I took the man to the embassy and he purchased a house. Not embassy, sorry, to Damak property. He purchased a property there, about 4 properties. So one in his name, one in his wife's name, one in his daughter's name, and one in his son's name. Yes, the people that knows me in Dubai will testify to what I'm saying. I don't lie. I don't need to lie. So on that very day, while they were bringing us down, while they were, packing the people who are using Nigeria passport by the side, I became angry. I raised alarm. I started shouting. I said, what is the problem? Why Nigeria one side? Ghana, welcome. Cameroon, welcome. Nigeria one side. Why? I was raking in the airport. I was causing a lot of havoc. As a matter of fact, I raised a lot of dust in that airport, to the extent that the custom, the immigration controller general, control general of that airport came. Very young boy. A boy of, I think, about 21, 22, very handsome. He walked up to me because he was watching me on the screen. He said, he came to me, he said, before he came, there were some other police that came around and said, what is the problem? I said, my problem is that I want to see the control general of this airport. Why Nigeria one side? Ghana, welcome. South Africa, welcome. Nigeria one side. Why? I was shouting. I was so much angry. Then they were coming me down. Then the man saw me on the screen and walked up to me. He did not ask them to bring me to his office. He walked up to me. He said, Habibi, sure. That means, he said, my friend, small. Calm down. I said, okay, what is the problem? He asked me, what is the problem? I said, my problem is that we all came down from one flight, and the immigration were welcoming Ghanaians, welcoming Togolese, welcoming Abidjan, welcome other, but Nigeria, they're putting them by the side. Is Nigeria not allowed to enter this country? What is the problem? The man smiled. I said, is that the problem? I said, yes. The man said, let me see your passport. I show. Okay, you use Nigeria passport? I say, yes. It's okay, brother. Nigeria, big problem. Are you listening to me? This man told me, he said, Nigeria, big problem. From that very moment that he said, Nigeria, big problem. Then I asked him, me, no problem. Maybe Nigeria, big problem, but me, no problem. He said, yes, but you, passport Nigeria, you use Nigeria passport. So everybody who uses passport, we see them as Nigerians. So it's big problem. I asked him, what is the problem? He said, okay, Tal. He said, follow me, come, follow me to his office. I followed him to his office. I am telling you what happened to me, my experience. I am the man who says the truth the way it is. I don't lie. I followed this young man to his office. He sat me down. Don't forget the topic. The topic is, what have you benefited from One Nigeria? Then I am adding to that question, what is your experience as you are using Nigeria passport? What are your experience in abroad or anywhere you find yourself? How are you being treated? We are going to discuss. So when the man took me to his office, he sat me down. He said, tea or coffee? I look at him. I said, coffee. He gave me coffee. I was drinking coffee. Then he said, my friend, calm down. Here in Qatar, Nigeria come after 1 month, 2 months, paper kalas. That means paper finish. That they come with visa, but after 1 or 2 months, the visa finish. They not go. After they go inside the country, they make wash, they make drug, they make this, make that. Why so many Nigerians in this country? Why? This man was asking me. I said, sir, because Nigeria is not good. I told him, because Nigeria is not good. I said, yes, that is true. I said, Nigeria is not good. That is why you see the youth in Nigeria coming out to look for a greener pasture. The government is not good. No job. You graduate you come out of the university as a graduate. You don't have job. You don't have something to eat. You don't have something to feed upon. You have mama, you have father, you have children, you have everything, but no money because you graduate. The government is not creating job for us. Okay, this is the problem. I said, this is the problem. The man shook his head. He said, okay, because of this, all Nigerians coming to Dubai, coming to Qatar, going to Jordan, going all African countries, all European countries, everywhere you go, you see Nigeria. I say, yes. He said, but why problem? Why? I said, the problem is the government. The man said, okay, no problem. I told the man, if somebody come to your country, me, I am not coming to live in Qatar. I am coming because by then I was working with the Damak property. So I want to come and, have meeting with 1 or 2 clients and I go back. He said, how many days you stay? I said, 4 days, or highest 5 days. He said, okay, no problem. Oh, sure. No make noise, no noise. I said, I am making noise. I have to make noise because if I don't make noise, you will not come. All the mumu that were with me, that were carrying Nigeria passport, they were all silent. They lined them up like animals. All of them, the students of them did anything. None of them responded. They were just there like monkey. But I was the only person who was shouting. So when this man brought me back, he now, collected my passport by himself. He stamped me in. He said, he shook me. He said, but I said, what about these people? What about them? He said, no, after they check them, they stamp them in. They check them, they stamp them in. I said, okay, is that so? He said, yes. I said, okay. And I have about 3 guys that I was playing with. So when I came into the Qatar, when I passed the immigration, I was there waiting. I waited. After some minutes, they begin to come in one after the other. And those guys, bros, now wow, that thing you did, it helped you because after they stamp you in, they begin to stamp other people in. But what they wanted to do is they want to check you, they want to check them thoroughly. They will open your mouth, open your clothes, they will take them inside houses, inside rooms, begin to check them because they are using Nigerian passport. This was my experience. My own experience is what I just shared with you. Believe me, because of the government that they have put in the countries, look at the way they are stealing your money. Those that are Nigerian, because I'm a Biafran, I'm not in Nigeria, they are stealing your money. They are stealing the country dry. They are taking what belongs to everybody, eating it only them and their families. And because of that, the common men and women out there are suffering, looking for a way to survive. That is why our people go to Pakistan and deposit their lives for business to exchange hand. They have to keep themselves and trusting their brother to go and sell and bring back the money. At the end of the day, nothing will happen and they will be killed. That is why our people are trekking from here to Morocco. And we pass through the Sahara Desert. And so many of them died of dehydration. No water, no food. Hunger killed a lot of them. Sometimes even the people they call the Tuareg, those people that used to cross them, have, you know, we attack them. All those Malians, they will attack them, collect all their money, and left them stranded. And when they even finally survived and got to this location, these countries they are trekking to, some of them will spend 5 years, 6 years, some 10 years. If you go to Morocco, you see somebody who have been in Morocco for the past 15 years, something to you. And they are one Nigerian, those who believe in one Nigeria. They are planning to go to Europe, but they have spent 10 years, 15 years in Morocco. They have spent 10 years in what do you call it, in Tunisia, some in Algeria. Why? Because of one Nigeria. Because they are Nigerians. Because the country where they call them one Nigerian is not working, because they have sold their, even most of them even helped in selling their future by collecting 1,000, 2,000 to vote for a man who cannot bring anything to the table. This is happening to them because they are non-Nigerianists. So in my own experience, I have witnessed that I was stopped at the airport and the Ghanaians were welcomed, Togos were welcomed, and they don't allow me to come in because I was using the Nigeria passport. I became angry. I became so much upset. I said, no, I fought myself out. And the Ogapatapata of the immigration came and stamped me in. And after that, other people were also stamped in. And that checking that they wanted to do, they didn't do it 100%. Even if they do it, it was not 100%. So the reason why I am asking this question this afternoon is because there are many people, when you tell them about Biafra freedom, when you tell them about our freedom, they will be saying something else. They will be saying something else. These are the people that we are fighting for. These are the people that we are trying to bring out of this shell of darkness, out of this bondage, out of this dilapidated system of government. But some of them will be telling you, I'm in Nigeria, I'm in Nigeria. You're in Nigeria, but you're suffering. So, hello, Chuguneche, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, I can take you live and clear.
Yes.
What is the email?
At the moment, that Biafra, cake email.
At the moment.
Okay, you are live on Acid Hot program, and today happened to be your birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yes, you are live, please. And on our souls, because it's better you go to a place where I will not have any static background or noise from background, because I promise to call you.
I can hear you very well.
It's okay. It's okay. You can hear me, right?
I'm not really if I'm not at the network.
Okay, but you can hear me now. Hello, can you still hear me? Can you still hear me, Nature?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Good, good. So today is.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Thank you, thank you. Today is your birthday, and I shared your picture on my wall, and my friends are wishing you happy birthday. They are all, you know, sending their greetings and their love to you, and that is why I decided to bring you up on this program, so that you will be able to talk to Biafrans and appreciate them too for all the love they are showering upon you. And today, as it is your birthday, I want to declare on your life that every prayer that you have prayed for Chukwu Kabiama shall come to pass. And I decree in your life that the enemies of Biafra will never see you. I decree also that you're going to live to see our nation Biafra. Yes, I remember you were there with us in Umuahia, and you have contributed a lot in the struggle, which is not by measuring what you have done, because Biafra have not come. It is when Biafra come that we begin to see what you have done and what you have not done. So I want you to, you know, speak to Biafrans because they are listening. Go ahead.
Okay. All Biafra.
Biafra, we hear you.
You know, my name is Chuguneche. When I'm talking, I like mixing my language. I have to say the Konishikorea.
Yes.
Then it's English.
That's right.
Only can I
Yes.
Uchineke. My name is Shipune Neche. As many of you know me. I'm so happy because of the love that you guys have shown me today. As in, the thing that is making me expect is so much, honestly.
That's correct.
This is more than this is a family.
That's correct.
I don't think there were any organization that such love exists. I don't think. The love known as this strong ICB family is pure. When I say pure, it's pure.
That's
honestly, because everybody knows we're a member of IPOB, and after every other IPOB has his or own biological blood relation.
That's
honestly.
Correct. That's correct.
And the love that I never expected it. Honestly.
Yes.
The wishes, the prayers, the everything is out of this world, honestly.
Yes.
I feel loved. I mean, I feel privileged to be a member of IPOB, honestly.
That is true.
It's just a matter of little time. So all their friends, I want us to have one love. I want us to have one love. Because in everything of life, love, now the foundation of life may water. Love, God, the thing game one day. Love for something make it. You drop something that will give you more income because of that, just because of nature.
That's correct.
When there is unity and when there is love amongst us, I don't think any way the enemy can shape penetrate into any of us.
That's
and once you have that love for Biafra, I don't think any way man will make shake. I don't think no.
Okay.
Because with that love and with that love for Biafra. That love and I say to every other ITV, to every other Biafrans and ITV back more around you, you will help them. You will see, you will help them in terms of their needs. Also, or help them and do something. You will do it and you need a merry way.
That's correct.
And by their own one heart, one mind, one everything, there is no way the enemy can penetrate.
That's correct. That is correct. So, Neche, can you still hear me? Oh, the network is. Are you back, Neche? Can you still hear me? Can you still hear me, Neche?
I'm back now. Someone called me that one.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I can hear you. Can hear you now.
Yes. There is a topic that I'm trying to. Yeah, continue. Oh my God. Yeah, the call is being disrupted. It's been disrupted with the call you're answering. And somebody is calling her, and today is her birthday, dear friends. You know, people need to be calling to be wishing her happy birthday. I think that is the issue she's having. So, Neche, just try and round up, okay, so that I will continue and free your line.
Okay. So one last thing I have to say to dear friends, though, I want us to have that zeal, as in that burning fire in us,
Yes.
Because I believe that Biafra is a spirit, and once that spirit is in you, spirit of Biafra, you can share back after. You can do it, you can do what you think that you can do, honestly.
That's correct. Now,
I've been a lover.
Now, I want to ask you something before I forget, please. I want to ask you something.
I can hear you.
I said I want to ask you a question. Should I go ahead?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. You are celebrating your birthday today, and since you were born up to today that you are celebrating your new age, what have you benefited as when you have not acknowledged that you're a Biafran, you are still seeing yourself as a Nigerian?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
I said, since you were born today, you are adding new age to your age, and before you acknowledge the fact that you're a Biafran, what have you benefited as a Nigerian? Because most of us, we are born into the country they call Nigeria, which you know is not our own nation. So what have you benefited anything before you acknowledge the fact that you're a Biafran?
Nigeria is nothing but a cause. Even the and everything that has to do with it is a cause. So I did not benefit anything from Nigeria. But I thought it subtracted things from me. The disadvantages of being a Nigerian we here by winning any Euro, I didn't gain anything. Instead, it was a total loss for me, honestly.
Beautiful. And the reason why I ask you this question is because that is the topic that I am already treating here, telling people, asking them to tell us what they have benefited as one Nigeria. Because as it is, everybody is rejecting Nigeria. As it is now, both the Hausa, both the Yoruba, both the Igbo, everybody is rejecting that one Nigeria. And because of the problem we are seeing ourselves in the place they call Nigeria. So even people are still sending you happy birthday. They are saying, I wish a happy birthday. Ben Jaffe, my brother, my friend, is sending you happy birthday. So Neche, I want you to recap. Can you hear? Hello, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Beautiful. So I want you to round up and say, give your last advice to Biafrans before you go.
Okay. My last advice to Biafrans is to be resolute, to be strong. Because it's not all about thinking that okay, this thing is a divine mandate and no man can stop it. So you have to try your possible best to make sure that Biafra comes. It is teamwork, because one tree does not make a forest. We need each other. So I want all hands to be there. We all need that freedom, because freedom is for all. So all I want to tell Biafrans is to be strong, to be resilient, to be focused. That is all I have to say to them.
Thank you very much, my beautiful sister. Chinechelem, ị ga-adị ka echi maka echi ada agwa ị ga-anụta ezigbo di ga-afọ gị n'anya ị ga-adịkwa ndụ ya so ọ ga-adị na mama Chineke. Well, thank you so much and enjoy your day. God bless you. Bye-bye. Yeah, my fellow Biafrans, because of freedom, I just spoke to the lady that you have seen the picture on my Facebook wall. Her name is Chukune Chelum. She's a Biafran. She was there in Omahia all through and doing what she knows how to do best. She's a very young, sharp lady who lost this struggle so much. She's been contributing to the struggle. So back to the topic of the day. And we if I know today is a special day that I want us to talk about what we have been benefiting. Those who were born into the country they call Nigeria, what are the benefits? What are you benefiting from that country? And if you are not benefiting anything, what is the experience? What is the ugly experience that you are having as they call you in Nigeria, which we know that we are not. So the line is open right now. As I'm talking to you right now, the line is open. Anybody who have something to say, who want to call and make a contribution on this program, please, you are free to call in to contribute to this program because I see the hot, not the bringer. So like I was saying, I have not benefited anything, but I have lost a lot. I have lost a lot because of the country they put me in and call me Nigeria. I have lost a lot. I lost my goose. I've said the story before. I don't want to continue saying it always. I don't want to continue saying it always. But each time I remember that because I am a Biafran of the Igbo extraction, I have lost a lot of things. I've lost a lot of fortune. The goose I bought in Dubai, sent to Nigeria, was seized by the Obasanjo regime. Up to today, I did not see it again. And I was manhandled in so many places, even at Semeboda. When I visited Ghana, once upon a time I visited Ghana, and an immigration officer, after crossing the Nigeria side on the side of the Cotonou, was kind of asking me some useless questions. And those questions he was asking me wasn't meant for me, because I believe Benin was under West African countries, you know, ECOWAS. So anybody who is having that passport of the zoo to travel, you know, must be freely moving within the ECOWAS communities. Now, to use, let me tell you guys again, to use Nigeria passport, you are a Biafran, for you to use it now, I know that the country is not giving us any good picture at all, but it's kind of, we don't have any option. It is under duress that we are using it, because 5.2 million people were massacred for us not to use our original our own passport, which is Biafra passport. But I tell you, very, very soon, very, very soon, that nation that we all craving for will come, and we are going to sing our Lord God song in our own land. And that time we can use our passport and boost our dignity and travel to many countries of the world and be seen as reasonable human beings. Because once you are a Biafran, my brother, anywhere you appear, things will start to happen. As long as you're a Biafran, positivity will start to happen. Negativities will disappear from your life. So those of you who still believe that one Nigeria will do them good, I am expecting you guys to call to tell me what you are benefiting as a Nigerian. Because Nigeria as a country was created 1914, January 1st. And are you telling me that before 1914 that you were a nobody? Are you telling me that your history of a country where you claim to come from started from, and a white man came? That a white man came, and after the white man came, you started and gave you a name, and you started bearing that name. Is that what you want me to believe? I don't want to believe in that until you say it convince me what you have been benefiting from Nigeria. A lot of graduates, our sisters, our brothers who graduated from different high institutions, doesn't have job. Many of them they end up driving keke napepe. Some are driving Okada. Those that are maybe kind of fortunate, have little opportunity, are driving taxi. And you will see fine brains going into trading, selling how much you go pay. Are you surprised that we have doctors, but we don't have good hospital here? Are you surprised that we have great civil engineers, but we cannot build road, we cannot build bridge? And you people forgot that it was the Biafran scientist that brought down the River Niger during the war, 1967 to 1970. It was our fathers, the engineers, who brought down the River Niger Bridge. Are you aware that the River Niger Bridge was brought down? Are you aware of that? These are civil engineers. 90% of them studied in University of Biafra, which is known as University of Nigeria and Nsukka today. Are you people aware of that? That in that school, there's a particular subject that have been removed from the courses that people are reading there. That is chemical engineering. That particular course is the course that helped Biafrans to build Ogbunigwe, that helped Biafrans to build our own armament, our own arsenal, which we used to fight. But today it's no longer there. And the Nigeria government have even removed history in the Nigeria curriculum, not to let people know that it was the University of Biafra, which is now known as University of Nigeria, that trained all the technocrats, all the finest brain, all the engineers that build that refined our fuel. They built a refinery, a mini refinery, and refined our fuel. Through other 3 years of the war, there was no single fuel scarcity for once. They built an airport in Oli. Are you aware? There's an airport in Oka, Aguata. It is our engineer who built all these things. Do you know that? Do you know that Ojukwu? Do you know how the depth of Ojukwu bunker? It was our engineers that built Ojukwu bunker. Yes, Ojukwu bunker was built by our engineers. The Radio Biafra, which Okonko them used to broadcast then, was installed by our engineers. I don't know if it was built from scratch. I don't want to say what I don't know, but they installed it themselves. Yes, And when they broadcast for one particular location, it will transmit to all over the place. And the Nigerian government were looking for it. I have been to Ojukwu Bunker. I saw the wonders that our engineers did there. Our scientists, I saw the wonder they did there. If you enter there, it's like another world. If you visit Umuahia, go and ask for Ojukwu Bunker. Then they take you there. You need to go there to see it yourself. The brain of those our fathers that were massacred, that were killed, what they did with what they studied within few years. They were the Nigerian government, the Egyptian pilot, the USSR, the United Kingdom. They were bombarding us, killing us. While our research team, we are doing research at University of Biafra, known as University of Nigeria. So I don't think if there is anything that anybody have benefited from being in Nigeria. But as a Biafra, we have achieved a lot in the past. And surprise, surprise, after the war, they did not even make use of those finest brain that build all those things. We build our bullets, we build our guns, we build our machine guns, we build our fighter. You know, our engineer constructed a mini plane into a jet fighter. You understand? They did a lot of things because it was under the name of Biafra that they were able to achieve all those things. Last 2 weeks, one of the greatest scientists that we have in Biafra land died. He was dead. Ezekiel Ezuogo. The first black man that built an automobile from scratch. Z600 is the name. You understand? But the Nigerian government did not take advantage of that ingenuity of Biafrans. They did not. Instead, they scattered everything. They don't want any man or anybody who is a Biafran to flourish. They don't want us to come out. They don't want us to do anything good. They don't. Once they say that you have a bright brain, they kill you. They kill your destiny. If they don't kill your destiny, they will kill you. Ezekiel Ezuogo, if Ezekiel Ezuogo was allowed, you know, to carry out that his automobile production with the support of the country, believe me, by now, the country will not be importing any cars. But they killed that dream, and the man have died, and he is a Biafran. Are you aware of that? So that name Nigeria is giving us a lot of bad influence. That name Nigeria is giving us a lot of bad luck. That name Nigeria is taking us aback. It's not pushing us forward. Because the name is a fraudulent name given to us. Nobody's a Nigerian. If you enter into a car right now and you have 3 people or 4 people sitting inside it, you will not say how many Nigerians are here. You will say how many Igbos, Hausa, and Yoruba are here. And don't forget that Igbo is a language, Hausa is a language, Yoruba is a language. Even Yoruba is Yariba, not even their real name. Oduduwa is their real name. The Hausa are calling them Yariba. That's the way they're calling us, Nyamiri. All this are what is happening to us because of that one name, one Nigeria that they're telling you that we belongs to. If you are enjoying one Nigeria, I am not enjoying it. If there are people who are enjoying one Nigeria, I want you to calculate to tell me the percentage of the people who are answering that one Nigeria. By the time you do your plus and your minus, you will be able to testify that those answering one Nigeria are like a pinch of dust compared with the whole land. Just you bend down and pick some numbers of sand in your hand, then all over the land there are sands everywhere. And it is those who are in the corridor of powers, those whose family are enjoying. They are the people that are enjoying that call themselves one Nigeria. But we, the Biafrans, we are the people who are making things to happen in the country. And we are not even given the opportunity to excel. Look at how they were hunting Innocent down. They were chasing after Innocent Chukwuma. They use GT Bank. They want to use GT Bank to bring him down, bring his business down. You are forcing somebody to come and build his factory in Abuja, in Kaduna. He said, no, I don't have interest. And you are trying to frustrate him. Why? If the prototype of Mazi Ezekiel Izuogu was not stolen by Nigerian army invaded his factory and took away everything, all the mold, the prototype, the plans, and everything that he used to build that car. They took it away. Why? Because he's a Biafran. The brain that have sustained, that helped us to build the ammunition that we used to sustain the war. We fought back like heroes. And that is why a white journalist said that the heroes fight like Biafra. The heroes fight like Biafra, not that the Biafra fight like the hero. So if you have benefited anything from one Nigeria, my brother, my sister, I have not. As a matter of fact, like my sister that just called now, said that, as a matter of fact, that Nigeria is a bad luck. It's taking away a lot from us. That is the truth. Go to Europe, go to America. Once you mention, they ask you, where are you from? You mention Nigeria, you're in trouble. Once you open your mouth and say you're in Nigeria, you're in trouble. You know why? Because they knew that your governors are coming to abroad, stealing your money, banking it over there, and all of you are those are you're not seeing anything. Because your president, they have private jets, and they use their private jet for money laundering. They keep flying billions and billions of naira abroad. When they want to, have you forgotten about the one you called Ganduje or Gandola? Have you forgotten him? How bribe was given to him in dollars, and it was viewed without his knowledge. He didn't know. Have you forgotten about the Harry Potter scandal case that indicted Buhari's wife, Aisha Buhari? Have you forgotten about the hush money 6 billion, which they say they used to feed children who are at home? They feed school children who are at home. They are not in school. They say they use 600 billion to feed them. Have you forgotten about Magu, 360 houses that he recovered from people, and he rerouted them? Have you forgotten about all this? Have you forgotten about Rotimi Amaechi, how much he stole and saved in the bank in America? Have you? Have you forgotten about the money that Ben Gardner stole from Ogun State? Yes, you don't know. They caught him, he now divert and use it to buy horses and call it Ogidiomo. Have you forgotten all the money they're stealing from the House of Representatives to the Senate to the governors? All of them are thieves. That is why when your name is being mentioned, as when you have a passport that is that of Nigeria, the white men that have conscience will begin to see you as a fool. They begin to see you as animal. They begin to see you as a thief. What is happening in this Nigeria, in this place they call Nigeria, if it happened in other African countries, there would have been a great revolution. People would have come out to fight it down. But do you know why revolution will not be carried out in this country? Because we are not one. They brought the Igbos, they brought the Yorubas, the Biafrans, the Duduwas, and they brought the Hausas, they mashed them together, and they call them one Nigeria. That is why if an Igbo man rise up today to lead a revolution that will change the narrative, that will change the Nigerian government bad system, then the Yorubas who are benefiting from it will now go use money and pay their youth to rebel against them. That is why if an Hausa man will stand up today to say that he want to fight the government of the day, the other people from the other side will rebel against them. That is to show you that Nigeria is not one. So when they call it one Nigeria, put it somewhere in your mind that it is fraudulent. I'm telling you this because I want you to know that, and I know you know it. And why are you traveling with Nigerian passport? It is under duress. Under duress. Yes. Yes. Under duress. In case you don't know the meaning of duress, go and search it in dictionary. You see the meaning of duress. When they will say you must answer Nigeria by force. That is why. Why are you spending Nigeria using Nigeria currency? Why don't you use Biafra currency? Anybody that asks you this question, boy, is an idiot. Because when America was still under the government of the British, everything America is what we are using then was under the control of the British. Both the currency, both the documentations, everything, all the administrative paperwork was that of the British colony. The same thing with Eritrea, the same thing with South Sudan. I keep repeating it on my program. For those idiots who ask you, why did you use Nigeria passport? You would have used a Biafra passport. If referendum is conducted today, you will see me using my Biafra passport. You will see me using spending my Biafra currency. I don't even need to be in Abuja to succeed. I don't need to go to Lagos to survive as a person. Don't need it at all. Right in my father's house, I will be there and I will succeed. I don't need to travel to London. And I'm using this opportunity to tell the whole world, the international community, that the earlier you support Biafra and let Biafra go, the better for you people, because the numbers of people that are going to leave your country will surprise you. The number of immigrants, those that are calling illegal immigrants, that are going to leave your country and return back to their own nation, it will surprise you. Because there's no country on this planet Earth that you don't have an Igbo man, that you don't have a Biafran. No country. I'm telling you this with every ounce of truthfulness in me. I'm not lying. If Biafra go today, you will see what is called mass return. Every country, at least for the next 2 months, you will see every day 2 flights will be leaving from that country back to Biafra. 2 flights full loaded until 2-3 months. Yes, because they have chased us away from our land. Because they do not develop our land, they underdevelop our land. Because we study here, we don't get a job. Because when we go to school here after graduating, because your name is Chukwubike or Chukwuma, there's no job for you. That is why you see us coming there. And these are the people that have the best brain. All this we are happening to us because we are Biafrans. And you that is kicking against the freedom of our people, I am asking you, what are you benefiting? What have benefited? Forget about all this indoor taboo. These people who are feeding fat with the money that belongs to you and I. Forget about them. They come, they promise you, I will build house, I will build road, I will build hospital, I will build this, I will build schools, I will give you light. Nigeria had their independence in 1960. 1960. From 1960 to the year 2000, October 1st. How many years do you think it is? Huh? I'm asking you guys, how many years? After 50 years, Nigeria is still, your governors are still promising you to build road. Your governors are still promising you that they will build school. They are still promising you that they will give you light. After 50 years of independence. Ghana got their independence in 1957. Today, Ghana has steady power supply. Today, Ghana have security. Fulani herdsmen went to Ghana to kill people, to malute the way they are doing here. The Ghanaian government, the Ghanaian president came out and made only open announcement that any Fulani man you see carrying cattle up and down, kill the cattle to do suya and make soup for everybody to eat. Yes, because these are one people. This is a country that have a good leader. And what happened? The Fulani could not penetrate in Ghana. They could not, flourish the way they are flourishing in Nigeria here. But here, they are the people who are ruling. They are the helm of affair. They are in the army, they are in the police, they are in the immigration, they are in the custom, they are in everything, civil service. They are everywhere here. But they went to Ghana, they couldn't penetrate. And let me put it in record to you guys that Nigeria is the only country where Fulani is ruling. That is why they want to still maintain that word, which what do you call him? Sadano of Sokoto said that Nigeria is the estate of his great-grandfathers, Uthman Danfodio, that they are going to use the Northerners, the minority in the Northerners, as a willing tools against the Southerners, and they are not going to allow them to rule over them, and they are not going to allow them to determine their future. Yes, maybe you have not come across that particular broadcast or particular message, or you have not seen it on Facebook or anywhere. They say that it's their forefathers' estate. They are going to use the minority Northerners as willing tools to conquer the South, and they will not allow the South to rule them. They are even the minority in the North. The people they call minority in the North, they are the people who have the land, the houses. This is what a Fulani man did. So when you are shouting and clapping your hand for one Nigeria, my brother, stop deceiving yourself. The woman that gave you the name Nigeria is dead and buried. We are Biafrans. Of course. So I'm still waiting to see somebody who is going to call to tell me, yes, I'm one Nigeria, I have one Nigeria, I benefited this and that from one Nigeria. I'm waiting because I know that nobody is going to call to say that he's a Nigerian or that they have benefited from the Nigeria government. It's the election that you're voting and they're giving you 500. They're sharing 500 to you, 500 naira. Well, 1,000, at worst 2,000. You use 500, come up as little as 500 to buy your future. All of them will come, they will promise you the same thing. The past governor came and promised you light and road. He didn't give it to you. Another one came, he promised you a school, a hospital. He didn't give it to you. And you keep voting them. Do you know why? Because they have made everybody hungry. They have turned everybody to animal. People are no longer reasoning like human beings. So because of this, they believe that once they come back again, whatever they ask, whatever they tell you, you believe them. But I thank God for Biafrans who are no longer believing that rubbish, because that is arrant nonsense. That is pure rubbish. We are no longer believing in that brouhaha. We are not. Fool me once, I am a fool. Fool me twice, I am a proper fool. So fool me once, I am not a fool. Fool me twice, I am a proper fool. Yes, when you fool somebody once, it may be a mistake. That person, you don't literally call that person a fool. But when you fool that person a second time, that person is a proper fool. So if you say that you are a Nigerian, my dear, call this program and tell me the reason why you are a Nigerian, what you have benefited as a Nigerian. And that is why I like the man you call Fela Nicola Bukuti. He's a great man from Oduduwa Republic. He died, may his soul rest in perfect peace. This is a man who saw tomorrow. This is a man who stood alone fighting the government. He went to prison 27 times. At the time, he was not even afraid of going to prison because he was speaking the truth. How many people like Fela are still existing up to today? Those who will look at you and tell you what you have done is not good. Look at the oil of the country you call Nigeria. You export crude oil and you import kerosene, you import gas, you import fuel from one item. And you think that you're not stupid. You people knew that as at 50-something years ago, that India did not have oil. I don't even know if they have oil up to now. But India built the biggest refinery in the whole world. Go and check it out. India built the biggest refinery in the whole world. I'm saying in Asia, in the whole world. But they don't have oil. I'm talking about something years back. They built the biggest refinery. Other countries that have crude oil are coming to India to refine their oil. And India is making hell of billions from refining oil for them. Here you have 4 refineries, 4. And none of them is working. That is the spirit of one Nigeria for you. And surprise, surprise, all the workers in those 4 refineries, the names of those workers are still receiving salary. And this refinery is not working. It is in Nigeria, in year one Nigeria, that I heard of a news of ghost workers. Ghost workers. Dead people that are still, somebody is manipulating with their name, collecting salary from government, but they are dead. Have you forgotten the ghost workers? But those that are alive, that are still living, they cannot pay them their pension. I've seen in the news where somebody died in where an old man who went to collect his pension died under Rochas Okorocha's government. I saw another one in Abuja where another old man died because he went to collect his pension. But there are people who sat down and using the name of dead men and women, collecting money, all in the name of pension. They are receiving their pension fees. So I'm still looking at something good. What is good? What is one good thing that I've received from Nigeria? What? I'm thinking nothing. No single thing. Benefit from Nigeria. Nothing. The only thing that I have, it's not benefit. The only thing that I inherited from Nigeria is killing of my people. Is, stampeding on our future. These are the things that have happened to us because they left us, on the ground. They have marched on us. The beautiful brains that we have is not allowed to practice whatever they studied. Yes, it is happening to us because of that name, one Nigeria. It is only Nigeria that I've seen a country that is forcing people to acknowledge it as one because they knew that they are not one. They knew that Nigeria is not one. That is why Nigeria Adaganiru. If I start calling it nigger area, that is the real pronunciation, but you people may not understand. That is why I'm calling it Nigeria, for you people to know exactly what I'm talking about. Because our leader used to give it to you raw, not broken. But I have noticed that when I give it to you the same way our leader is giving it to you, some of you will not understand it. You begin to argue. You begin to say, what is he talking about? So it is gradually, not after nation. So I don't see any good thing. Not single good thing that I, Maazio Obalaeze Chukwubikem, have benefited from Nigeria. Not one. From I never see. So if you have, please, it's better you call to tell the world. Yes. A country where killers, herdsmen, and Boko Haram, after killing the military that is defending the land, then you bury the military in a grave, in a mass grave, then you free those that killed the military and integrate them into the military again. So what is that supposed to be? I want to know what it means. A terrorist killed your army. You You bury the army in a shallow grave. Then the people that kill the army, you catch them, put them in the prison, give them food, and after you bring them back again, say you have forgiven them. Can this happen? Can this happen in an advanced country? Once a terrorist is at sight, it is shoot immediately, shoot at sight. It's a terrorist. That is why Azubike Ejirika was removed as the chief of army staff under Goodluck, because he was doing the job excellently well. He was killing anybody as well as you are a Boko Haram member. But here, it's not happening like that. You know why it's not happening like that? It's not happening like that because it's not happening like that because the man who's supposed to do it is already removed, and the person who's supposed to do it is the brother. And they are making money. They are making too much money from Boko Haram business. Boko Haram have turned to business. For you people who doesn't know, it have turned to business. It is Boko Haram. If you know how much budget Nigeria is signing into the army to buy ammunition, and before you know it, Boko Haram will take over all of them. It is happening, and the world is seeing it. Everybody is seeing it. It is only Biafrans that are talking about it. Only Biafrans are the people talking about it. No other person. That is why I always love to acknowledge Mazi Nnamdi Kanu with the great work he's doing. The man is doing a great job. But I want to tell these people something. Do you know that the Egyptians we see today, we shall see them no more? This Nigeria you are seeing now. Bring out 2 ballot boxes today, and Nigeria is gone. Today, I didn't say tomorrow. Bring out 2 ballot boxes. Say people come and vote to be Nigeria to continue or for your nation to be restored. Be it Dua, be it Ariwa, be it Biafra. You will see that the number of people that would vote for Nigeria are the thieves, the animals, the looters. They are only the people that is going to do that. To vote for Nigeria to continue is to vote for people to continue being killed. To vote for Nigeria to continue is to encourage the massacre of innocent people in the country. Because people are dying because of one Nigeria. People are killed because of one Nigeria. I'm not being killed because of any other thing, but because of one Nigeria. So I have not benefited anything from Nigeria. I must tell you the gospel truth. And I am not a Nigerian. I am only forced to be a Nigerian, but I am not. Give me my freedom. Allow me to determine my own future, to decide on what I will do and what I will not do. Allow us to go. Allow Biafrans to go. Allow Biafrans to go. Because we are not Nigerians. It is so painful. Very, very painful. My brother Christopher Wangwe, welcome program. Yes. You're welcome to the program, bro. Welcome to the program. Oh, hey, Biafra, bro. So, if there is anybody who have benefited anything from Nigeria, who is watching this program, please come. A greeting from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Brother Christopher, I know that Tanzania is a small country. They based their source of income in agriculture. There were many farmers in Tanzania. I know that. I know that. I know that very, very well. And when Biafra come, we are going to take over because our land is a fertile land. Our land is a beautiful land. It's a fertile land. Whatever you plant inside Biafra, we do what? We germinate and bear fruits, like a tree that is planted by the riverside. We don't even need fertilizer to cultivate anything because our land is already fertilized. Chukwu blessed us so much. He did it. Everything we need is in our land. Share this program and like my page, because I need my friends on this program. I need my followers on this platform. I need it. I need my followers on this platform. Once again, my name is Mazi Okpalaeze Chukwubikem. Yes, that is my name. And I see the hot, no side I bring and give you. So this afternoon, my topic this afternoon is nothing but in one Nigeria, what have you benefited? And I believe you guys have not benefited anything from one Nigeria, because one Nigeria is like a poison. If you drink it, you must die. The more you accept to be a Nigerian, the more you are dying. Look at the number of people that have been massacred. Look at the number of people that have been massacred, left, right, and center. Look at it. Look at it. And that reminds me of Uche Ogbuagu. Uche Ogbuagu. There was a song that Uche Ogbuagu sang. I'm looking for it. If I see it, I'll play it for you guys to listen to this woman, to hear what he said. Nigeria is dead and buried. So while we are going on, let me play that song from Ogbuagu. It was kind of a comedy, but he made it he converted it into a song. Just let us listen, because he talked about some things that is happening in Nigeria. Let's go there. Just listen. All the things that is happening in Nigeria is what this man is talking about. Listen. Listen. Just those that believe in one Nigeria, listen to this song. You hear something. I give credit to him for all those who are speaking out. It's a kind of comedy, but listen.
Ụmụnna, eziokwu niile n'aha Chineke abịa na ekpere na abụ niile na-abụ na Anglican Church anyị onwe nke na-enwe m igwe m hetiri ka abụ 173 mụ dị njọ na-achọ ngọzi. Etumeghala sị ha unu chọọchị laa ka ị ga ya ga-ahụ azụ m gede njọ na-achọ ngọzi, gede njọ na-achakwasa gede njọ shi ka ị gakwa na njọ achọ ngọzi. Chineke nyere m aka enide mkpọrọ house member ekwa bilu mbụ ga-ebu ụzọ pas ya wuo otu ma amendment abụ 173 ahụ modern njọ na-achọ ngọzi. Ọkwa ka agụmentị rikatara elu ka otu fada Katọlik jiri nwetu obi ji ụmụ agadi nwoke memba ya ọkacha n'ahụ si ya papa biko ngwa kọwara anyị kedu njọ kasị njọ niile isi na ọ bụrụ ikwu iko, na ọ bụrụ igbu mmadụ, ọ bụrụ izu ori, ọ bụrụ ịnapụ mmadụ ife ya n'ike, ọ imebe anya ukwu n'ife mmadụ ka ezi ife papa ebilie kwa kabiri ya chọọchị. Fada nwa m ntị, njọ wụ njọ kacha njọ niile n'ụwa anyị nọ n'ime ya wụ njọ amaracha eme. Njọ amaracha eme eziokwu n'aha Chineke ifite gbawara ndị anyị n'ugbo mmadụ ọrụ n'isi. Fada na ndị chọọchị akụja mee n'afọ nna. Uche Ogbuagu nwayọ kwa.
Listen, it's coming to the point that I want to play for you here. Listen, only Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB. Just listen. I'm a case in Zushi. Empty. That is my message. That's one Nigeria. Listen.
When you're not getting the phone in the water, one of my room, when you're not here, and then Potampotra is all what only get Kakam, how Chile no what them no Symbians or what. So only have no Chile.
That is their promise.
I mean, you know, I'll sound too much, then you
are you listening? Are you listening to Uchobagu? Uchobagu is telling you exactly what how the biggest lie that they used to give to you. That lie that they cooked when they come to tell you to vote for them. Listen, not get you know too much. Just listen. It's in line with what I'm talking about. Inside one Nigeria.
Before we say to morning after in fact, children even before national school. I got a free medical services. If you say, respond to what the treatment. Just they random vote. Whereas the annual this my first, my second, my third time.
This is the promise of your so-called senators, governors, presidents in one Nigeria. Somebody should call me, please, to tell me what he's benefiting from one Nigeria. Listen to him. I love this. I love it. He's passing a very important message. The heart. That's how they bring and give you.
Ụmụnna onye ji ego na-akpa egwu oge n'ahịa maka na ụgwọ ọbụla ji ejike n'isi agba ya oji okwere ịghọta na onye ụgwọ ọnwa ya na-esi nwule taa maka akwụkwọ mmiri ya wụrụ obodo okwu onye ọbụla na-achịkọtaba ezinụlọ ya fest ya makwara amapụta na abịa achị ọchịchị gọọmenti onye fest kam na-esi nwule ịrụ ọkpụkpụ ihe ahụ n'anya ọ na-awụ sekọnd tam ịkwa nkwado na anyị gụọ nwa anyị okwu ụmụnna ọkwa onye dara klaasị na-eripiti klaasị kemgbe fọnwa nna na-ekpata onyokwa na Naịjirịa ka ọkụ jiri dị ọba na politiks ndị ụfọdụ ebulie kọmputa ha gafee na mba isi ojii na Afrịka ndị ọzọ ndị egefọkwa n'afọ ebe ahụbajuo politiks fọmila pastọs ka ịhụ otu ha eyiri efu dị ebe ka mmadụ ebe ọzọ wuo onye ọbụla kụrụ taya n'ọga na ba ịhụ nga akpọchiri na suit and coat amacha mma nwoke ihe eze
I just want to correct some impressions here. This man, when he played this song, or should I say, he made this music, or whatever he called it, this man was still intact. His brain was intact, he was reasoning. But right now, he is among the people who are stealing the money now. He is eating now in Owerri. Don't forget. He is into government now. He is among them. Whom you are listening to his voice, who have spoken all the truth in the whole world, making sense, telling the whole world how these people are deceiving us, how they have been telling us lies, and what have you. But him is among them right now. I have not come to talk about Uchobagu, but I want you to reason with the song, with this music that was made by Uchobagu, when he was not part and parcel of the government of Imo State. Now he is there. He was there during Okorocha regime. I think Okorocha regime. No. He was not there with Okorocha. I think it was during the Ihedioha regime. Yes. Ihedioha. I think Ihedioha gave him a very important post in Imo State, a portfolio that he was handling, and he stopped talking. Listen to him more, please.
But I was Judas Iscariot. Ndeke wanye penti oto macha na poster ye meri wine na ma nwoke e manza wucha meri Magdalene efu anya ndro nganye plan ga ndro ọchịchị mụ na plan kwa nyi n'ọchịchị ge be n'anya ya kira ho ana zentra aka ibata ndị otu mụ na gọọmenti ọnụ n'ụlọ n'ọnụ n'ụzọ iji agụ ndị shi na gọọmenti
Nigeria is there.
I
swear to God.
nna nwo ọsamasị akụ
Mazi Uchobago Ibaliana, you have tried. The message that I wanted you to pass, you have passed it already, letting the world to know that politics. No, here. When you are choosing, a post will be given to you and be returning. You'll be paying back some certain money, you know, to the people who have put you in that position that you are occupying. So we all know this. We know this. However, we must continue because this channel, as it is hot, now so I'm going to bring and give you. So the question that I'm still asking our people is very, very simple. That question says, what have you benefited from One Nigeria? It's very, very simple. A very simple question. What have you benefited from One Nigeria? Have you benefited anything from One Nigeria? When somebody tell you about Biafra, you say, stop telling me about Biafra. I'm not interested. I'm a Nigerian. You're a Nigerian. Are you proud? Are you a proudly Nigerian? What is the meaning of Nigeria? Who created Nigeria? Who named you Nigeria? Are you benefiting anything from One Nigeria? If you're benefiting something, tell us about it. It is very, very simple that you tell us about what you are benefiting from Nigeria. Oh, this is not about talking. It is about doing. What have Nigeria done for you? Can Nigeria make Gorugi? They can manage them. They will force you, other force you to do something. They will give you a job, and in return, your salary may be supposed to be 70,000. The man who give you the job, maybe in one of the government offices, will tell you that you will be collecting 30,000. If it is lie, you people should be witness. Yes, of course. Somebody will give you a job and be sharing your salary with you. It is happening in Nigeria here. Somebody will give you a job, and that person that gave you the job will be sharing your salary with you. If you don't agree, go and sit down. Someone else will take it because they're hungry. You're a woman and you want to get a job from any offices here in Nigeria. One day, you have to sleep with your guy. You must sleep with your guy. If you don't sleep with your guy, there will be no job for you. So you as a Nigerian, I am asking you once again, it's new in Nigeria, what are you benefiting from One Nigeria? Because under One Nigeria, nothing is working. Under One Nigeria, there's no steady power supply. Under One Nigeria, there's no good hospitals. Under One Nigeria, there's no good schools. Under One Nigeria, there is no security. Under One Nigeria, there is no peace. There's no love. There's no equal right and justice. Under One Nigeria, your women, your sisters, and your mothers are being raped. Under One Nigeria, your community are being destroyed. Under One Nigeria, a lot of things is happening. And you tell me you are proud. You're a proudly Nigerian. Can you kindly call to tell me what you are benefiting as a Nigerian? That is my question. Call and tell me this is what you have benefited as a Nigerian. That is what I want to hear. That as a Nigerian, you were able to do this, the government have helped you in doing this. In your community, you have a borehole set up by government. No. There is none. There is none. So all of you that think that claiming to be a Nigerian will save you because you don't want to tell the truth. That if you say you're not a Nigerian, you're a Biafran, somebody will ask you, then what passport are you using? That nonsense is inconsequential. That question is inconsequential. It is an inconsequential question because no country can use their passport that is not yet legalized and acknowledged by the international community. You have to use the passport of the people that you are fighting to get your freedom from first. That is how it works. That is exactly how it works everywhere in the world. So freedom fighting is not akara and beans. It's not akara and it's not beans and bread. For your information. So, my brothers and my sisters, those that are watching and those that will still watch later, if you have any reason to be proud of Nigeria, if you can't call, put it in writing, because I am telling you from here that as long as I am concerned, Nigeria is dead and buried. I have never benefited anything from Nigeria. Nigeria have not done anything for me. I am the one who is struggling for myself, taking care of myself and my family. I'm the one who is fighting to survive. I have never benefited anything from the government. Look at the palliative that they were sharing. It was only in the north. The palliative was only shared in the north. It wasn't shared in the south. It wasn't shared in the east. No, it wasn't. Only in the north. They were giving people 20K, the palliative that federal government brought out. And another woman, you call Hush Mommy, took 600 billion. You say he was using it to feed children who were at home with their parents. They are looters of the highest order. They have looted the country dry. The more you call yourself a Nigerian, the more you are laying curse on yourself, because Nigeria is a curse. Nigeria is a curse. Yes, I'm telling you the gospel truth. If you call me a Nigerian, you are cursing me. And I cannot even take it lightly with anybody who called me a Nigerian. I can't take it lightly with you because I am not. And nobody say proudly Nigerian. Okay, now let me break it down for you before I round up this program. Do you know that all these people that have sworn an oath of allegiance to the Nigeria government to keep Nigeria as one? Do you know Yes, my people, I am back once again. I am back once again. You guys know that the reason why this is called struggle is because it is not an easy task. So you keep struggling until you get to where you're going to. So once again, my name is Mazi Okpalaeze Chukwubikem, always known as Prince Darlington, aka Ago Biafra 1. Yes, I am back. I was attacked, but I am back. I was attacked, but I am back. Like I was saying, none of these people that call you, that tell you that they are your governors, your ministers, that they love Nigeria, none of them love Nigeria. None of them loves Nigeria. The reason why I am saying this, I'm putting the record straight, setting the record straight, is because if indeed they love Nigeria, they will be able to build good hospitals in Nigeria where everybody that is known as a Nigerian will be treated. They will not leave your hospital the way it is and traveling abroad to treat themselves. If they love Nigeria the way they claim, they should be able to build good roads, good road network in all the communities to help the farmers, those who are farming from the village, to farm and bring their crops to the city. If they love Nigeria, they will be able to make sure that they invest money into education. They will invest a lot of money into education. Yes, they are supposed to build good schools, nursery, primary, university, and secondary schools, so that all the children whom they claim that they love the nation that they have put together will be able to go to school free of charge. If they love Nigeria, they are supposed to make sure that Nigeria economy is stable. They are supposed to build the best economy, whereby inflation will not be the order of the day. If they love Nigeria, they will not steal your money from Nigeria and go and dump it in France. If they love Nigeria, they will not thief your money from Nigeria and go and build house and go and buy house in Dubai. If they love Nigeria, they are not supposed to come and steal the money that is meant for the development of a certain project, go and dump it in America. They don't love Nigeria anything. Nobody loves Nigeria. That is why they are stealing from you and going to abroad and dump the monies there. All of them have they have houses all over the world. And after they will come and say, I was going to defend the integrity of Nigeria. The territorial integrity of Nigeria cannot be tampered with. But look at how they have ceded the Nigerian sovereignty to China because of only 400 billion. You see it? So when I tell you that nobody loves Nigeria, indeed, nobody loves Nigeria. And when I tell you that Nigeria is a disease, once it affects you, you are gone. That is truth. I don't want to remove anything from that truth. I must tell you the way it is. We are Biafrans. We are fighting for our freedom. All we are asking for is to be allowed to go and have our own nation and build our own nation, so that the people that are remaining in their Nigeria will look at what they are going to build within only 5 years. Their eye will be able to open. There can never be any revolution here because we are not one. Look at Sowore. Sowore wanted to lead a revolution. They arrested him. Why are you arresting somebody who is building, who is fighting for the betterment of the country? He says that the center cannot hold anymore. That is, it's not working the way it should. And you are fighting him, you arrested him. Now the people that came to protest, doing the same thing with him, they are not even up to 20. They shot tear gas, everybody ran away. They went home and sit down. And that is how the revolution died. Sowore, you tried, bro, but you don't have the balls to do it. There is only one man that I know that can do it. That is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and he is doing it already. But this time, it's not a revolution for Nigeria to be changed. It is for Biafra to have their own nation and be recognized as human being. not as animals. You understand what I'm saying? So at this point, I want all of you who say that they are Nigeria to begin to see yourself as idiots. Go and look at yourself on the mirror and say you are a proudly idiot. Both the governors, both the ministers, both the whatever, all of you that are calling yourself Nigerians, you are proudly idiots. You are proudly animal. You are proudly fools. And I have my reasons why I'm saying it. The reason why I'm saying it is seen before the world that you don't have steady power supply, you don't have good road, you don't have good hospital, you don't have good schools, you don't have good you don't even have good infrastructure, you don't even have good should I say economy. You don't. 1,000 naira today is like a tissue paper. If somebody give you 1,000 naira today, you use that 1,000 naira enter market, it can only buy 1 pint of garri. 1 pint of garri is what 1,000 naira can buy. But I remember back in the days, my mother will go to market with Ofa Bego, 200 naira. From that Ofa Bego, my mother will buy garri. She will buy soup ingredients. She will buy stew ingredients. She will buy rice on top of it. She will still buy yam with Ofa Bego, 200 naira. I remember when I was still growing up. When I was still growing up, by then there was nothing like 200 naira notes. Inflation have killed the country. Stealing have killed the country. Looters everywhere. And some people still have that effrontery to face me and tell me that they are Nigerian. You're a proudly Nigerian. You're a proudly fool. You are a proudly fool animal. Therefore, Biafrans, it is time for all of you to come out and stand shoulder to shoulder with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to have our nation restored. Whether our enemy likes it or not, we must have our nation restored. And our goal is just to have Biafra restored. That is all. We can trade together. We can live side by side. They live in their side, we live in our side. Whatever they have, they want to sell, they bring, we buy. Whatever we want to sell, we take to them. Then we will see what is going to happen. And all of you who are talking about restructuring 2023 president, go and sit down, because restructuring will not work. 2023 presidential, whatever, coming to Igbo will not work. Nobody is going to make an Igbo man a president in this damnable contraption. Nobody. They can never give you that opportunity. Never, ever, ever. Instead of them to do that, they prefer that Nigeria divide. I'm telling you, go and mark it, go and mark it somewhere. Because they knew that an Igbo man will change a lot of things that they have spoiled. They knew that if they allow an Igbo man to be a president of this zoo, within 1 year, 2 years, that Igbo man will transform the whole country. And the whole world will say, oh, so Nigeria can be this. It is only an Igbo man that can change everything in this place they call zoo. But it is, we have crossed the Rubicon. We have crossed the Rubicon already. We can't go back to that poto. We are making headway to our nation, which we are expecting to have this year by the special grace of Chukwu. Even if I thought that Biafra did not come this year, we are going to continue fighting until Biafra come. We are ready. We have been killed. We have been arrested. We have been shot at. Our land have been taken over by our enemies. Our water have been polluted. Yes, our fish have been killed. They polluted our water, and our brothers who are fishermen are hungry because they cannot fish again. That is the truth. And the whole world knew it. And nobody is talking. It is only IPOB under Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that is talking about our freedom, talking about all these things. But your chiefs, your kings, your Igwes, your whatever, all of them are just there receiving 150,000 naira every month from the oil well in their own backyard. So, great dear friends, I thank you so much for joining this program this afternoon. And once again, I want to say happy birthday to all the Biafrans that are celebrating today. All of you that are celebrating today, I say happy birthday to you. And to my own sister, Chukwuneche, I say happy birthday to you once again as you are celebrating your new year today, your new age today. May Chukwukabema bless you and bless everything you touch. And as you watch this program, share it and like this page. Like I said, I want to continue bringing my program on this platform. I want to continue bringing it to this platform so that I will have a smooth and sweet broadcast without being attacked. So may God bless all of you that have watched. May everything you touch from this moment turn to gold. I pray and decree that Biafra is going to be restored in our own lifetime so that the world may know that we are the children of Chukwu Abịama. That is why we have names like Chukwubikem, Ngozi Chukwuka, Mmadụ Chukwu, Chukwu Chinaso Ukwu, Chinaza Ekpere, Chikaima, Chinedum, Chibuzai, Chukwuka Dibia Gwondoria, Oke Chukwuka, Anguri Chineke Karele. These are the names that will bear, that God have looked into and said that these people that are called by my name, I will bless them. So on this note, I said that Biafra shall come. And thank you so much. May God bless each and every one of you as I will bring you an exciting program in the coming days. And by then, the next program that I'm going to bring to you, I'm going to broadcast. I'm going to write it on my wall and update my followers to know that I'm coming live. I didn't, announce this one for some reasons, but on this juncture, I say, may Chukwuka bless us because we are Biafrans. Thank you so much, and may God bless you for watching. Thank you. I love you all. I remain your brother. I salute you.